What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Panda here, and today's video for my Magic Elemental Guardians is going to be all about this AMA that happened on the Discord. So if you didn't already know, Ubisoft decided that for an hour today, this morning, between 6 and 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, they were going to do an Ask Me Anything on the Discord channel. So what they did was they opened up a question channel and an answer channel and allowed us to ask whatever questions we wanted, and selected at random, supposedly, they would answer questions in the answer tab. Now, not everyone got their questions answered, obviously, because there were I think at some points there were even over 1,000 people who showed up for this event, which is awesome. We have a great community showing up for this event, which is, in my opinion, amazing. And we had a lot of really good questions answered, allowing us to get some insight on Ubisoft's goal for the future of the game. So let's just go ahead and get in it. It started, like I said, right around 6 a.m. It's 7 a.m. right now. So it just ended like maybe 7 minutes ago. So we're going to go ahead and talk about this. So we've got some basic stuff. What are upcoming plans for guilds, more PvP stuff? They did talk a lot about guild stuff, saying that the main priority of this next patch that's coming out, the next big patch, is going to include guild events, things like raids and PvP. So I'm thinking we're looking at guild wars, as well as maybe like a guild raid where you team up with teams and you fight a boss, slowly chipping away at his health bar. Once you defeat it, you get some rewards or some currency to use in a shop to buy rewards, something along those lines. Obviously, we didn't get any specific information about this because they don't want to reveal things too early, but we did get that there will be guild raids and PvP, hopefully, in this next upcoming build. We also had a good question. As you know, we did have a free glyph event just a few days ago about how often we can expect them, and we got a real easy answer for that: once a month. I kind of expected this. A lot of games such as Summoner's War and other games do have free glyph events that happen once a month. I also wouldn't be surprised if at some point they do release the ability to purchase these in the future as a way to make money without being considered pay to win. But it is good to know that once a month, hopefully on a consistent date, or, you know, like every second weekend or something, we will have free glyph removal days, which is really awesome. We did get a lot of information as well also on cross-platforming, so being able to swap from iPhone to Android or Android to iPhone, etc. And they did announce that later this summer they do plan on merging accounts, so being able to swap progress swap and not lose progress between iOS and other devices. So very excited. I also am very happy about this next question, guys. One of the biggest things I was worried about is we've got these 4-star units that we can evolve to 5 stars, and I was so worried that they were going to release either natural 5-star monsters or the ability to level to 6-star, which I felt was not necessary for at least a year to 2 years, and I'm glad to say that the devs agree with me. They do not plan on adding 6-star creatures in the game. They'd rather focus on adding new ways to improve existing ones, which in my opinion is fantastic news. I think adding in a 5-star units or adding in the ability to take units to 6-star requires a lot of unnecessary farming and summoning, which I think if they were to do that, this game would definitely go into a pay-to-win type event due to the fact that 4-star units are already such a low % chance to summon. We also had the basic discussion of, you know, when are duplicates going to be worth anything. We did get an announcement saying they do plan on adding features to make duplicates worth it. Now, of course, I'm not sure what this is. They didn't go into in depth about it, but they did say that duplicates will be worth it. So if you get Nat 4 dupes, even Nat 3 dupes, definitely keep them. I personally have been keeping all of my natural 3-star dupes because I knew something like this was gonna happen, and even if it doesn't happen, it's never a bad idea to have multiple units of the same type because they may end up being useful later on in the future. So definitely make sure you're keeping your 3-star dupes for the future. Also, a lot of people complaining about the first skill evolution and not being able to change it. They are working on swapping it, but we don't have a necessarily release date on that. Definitely not the next build though, as you can see here. Duels between friends, are they going to be a thing? Duels and even real-time PvP is definitely something they want to do, but they don't have any plans for it right now, but it is something that's on their list of, you know, their to-do list. So definitely expect that soon. The next thing that I am excited about here is this question right here. Will you increase the speed of the overall gameplay? They are increasing ×3 speed in the next build. They will review and monitor our feedback once we play with it. So here's something I really need from you guys. Once they release this next build and they release this ×3 speed, be vocal about it. The reason they're increasing the speed is because we were vocal about it. So keep being vocal about it, and we'll continue to get the things that we want. And this AMA, I think, was one of the greatest things that happened for us, because now we have the ability to go over all of these questions we have and tell the devs about things that maybe haven't been mentioned before, or reiterate things that the devs need to know and things that they can change so that they can move up their processes. We also got not a release day, but a release week, which should be the first week of July for the next build. So look forward to that. We're looking at probably another week and a half to 2 weeks for that. They do have really cool features planned to interact with friends and make the game more social, but again, no release date on that. A lot of these questions are questions of, is this happening? Yes. Or is this happening? No, it's not. Is this happening? Yes, and it's happening here, and this is what's happening. We're not getting specifics. They don't want to ruin any surprises, but they are giving us something to look forward to, which I think is important. We have some banter here. This was a really funny event. They had lots of questions, like, asking about what type of women people liked, and it was kind of stupid, but it kept things light-mooded, and I felt it was a very interesting interaction between us and the devs, which was awesome. They did mention they do plan on doing balance changes every update, and some they do on the go without builds needed, so small changes, to bug fixes, etc., that happen without patch notes, etc. Kind of typical game stuff that happens. Not really surprised about this. Improvements on the social systems, such as friends list or chat channels. They are planning on increasing social features on every front, including friends list and improvements for chat. It does need some love, and he agrees with us, which is really important, that we have a dev that's like, yeah, I agree with this, let's fix this, because now we're gonna have someone who's passionate about it on the good side of the players in order to fix things. We did have a little bit of talk about emulators, and I'm very excited to hear this. Someone asked, any plan to make the game officially playable on the computer? And this answer right here is very good, especially for us YouTubers and streamers who make content on the computer. Sometimes our phones get really, really hot when we try to mirror, so using an emulator such as Nox or BlueStacks, etc., is very helpful when it comes to that. And we have an answer here that says, so you can play on emulator if you want, we tolerate it. However, it's not what we recommend, as the game was designed to be playable on mobile only, and emulator is not a supported device, meaning you could face unexpected behaviors that we don't support. So basically what that means is you can use emulators, just don't be an idiot and try to hack the game with an emulator. Don't be that one guy that ruins this for everybody, basically. If you're just using the emulator to play and you're not trying to use any other features, that may try to change game files, etc., I think will be okay. So don't be dumb about that. We did have a question about improving upgrades of glyphs, things like ×10 speed, or not ×10 speed, but like ×10 upgrades, etc. And we had, it was a little weird, I love the beautiful and long animation, but then we went on to ×10 is coming soon, not next build, but definitely soon. So easy answer. They are planning on bringing ×10 upgrade to the game. They just have other things that are slightly more higher priority, which I think is perfectly fine. Getting new content is better than fixing a little bit of old content, as long as it's not game hindering, which in my opinion this is not. 1 second here, I'm getting a phone call. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Do you plan to sell skin or add haircut for the kid and for the monsters? So basically adding additional skins and things like that. They do plan on adding that, as also reworking the whole avatar feature soon. So this is exciting to me, because I noticed when I was making my avatar, there weren't a lot of options. I couldn't really, I couldn't add facial hair, and I'm like, I want my guy to have a beard. Like, I can't do that. So this is definitely something that I'm excited about, being able to add new features or reworking the features. Definitely interesting for me. Are the weaker Nat4s going to see changes that bring them into line with stronger ones? Yes. Definitely excited. They're taking all of our feedback seriously. So this is another thing that I mentioned about being vocal about it. If we tell the devs, hey, we have a problem with this, they're listening, guys. And this is obvious. All the things we're mentioning are already on their to-do list because they've been mentioned before. So definitely excited for this. We had the focus on, the next build is focused around PvP. Then we will have the guild stuff. Beyond that, they can't really share anything specific, but that means they've got two things in place for us: fixing PvP, which I'm assuming is going to include things like a draw function, as well as then adding guild stuff, which is going to include the raid and what I'm assuming would be like a guild war system over the next two builds. So we've got a lot of new content coming and a lot of fixed content coming, which is very exciting for me, even as a newer player, and I know I have a lot of room to go. Having additional content to create content with and to have just fun playing the game is very exciting for me. Let's see here. Are there going to be ways or event exclusive for new players to catch up to beta players with 1 year of farming and summoning? So for those of you guys who don't know, the game has been out for a little over a year, and only recently kind of made it big. And personally, I think that we, as newer players, I mean, I'm having no issues getting relatively quick in the game. Do I believe that there are people who are ahead of me? Absolutely. But in comparison, most of the community is newer, and so most of the community is at the same place that I am. The only people who are above you are the people like Legend or Vulcan Games, who have been playing for a very serious amount of time. But eventually, everyone's going to be able to catch up to where they are, so I personally don't see it as an issue. And I think that devs are kind of in the same agreement, but also at the same time are wanting to help newer players. They mentioned that, the game has changed and newer players have a lot of advantages, but they do believe that cool events to help new players are always possible. So definitely something that, is going to be awesome. Let's see here. So we go down to buffing individual monsters. They did say that attackers are currently under review, all of them. We believe that we are better than the past, but it is something we will have news on soon. So look forward to upgrades on attackers. Maybe poisoners aren't going to be the way things go for much longer, which is something I definitely predicted, that eventually, we're going to get to the point where whether it's runes or whether it's attackers that get buffed, it was going to happen where we were going to move from a poison meta into a pure damage metal for sure. Again, we have a mention about guild wars. Definitely this one was specific. They do have plans for guild stuff, including raids and PvP fights being two of them, so definitely gonna happen. Again, so we have this awesome 150 event summon going on right now, where if you summon 152 star or higher creatures, you get a guaranteed natural force down. Now this was a specific event they did for game launch. There is no plan to do it consistently. However, when big events happen, they may release it again. But right now, they do not plan on doing it. So if you haven't already done so, farm your achievements. Get your natural 4-star. This event is not coming back. It's not going to be consistent. All right, guys, definitely make sure you do that. We go down here to... is the game still, a lot of features are coming soon? Coming soon is what I have seen for almost a year. When are those features coming? So they had a roadmap that they had set up, and this roadmap was like, this is what we want to do, blah, 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 blah. But then they had a bunch of new players come with this newest launch, and they went, whoa, all this other stuff is more important. Let's fix this other stuff, which I think is totally fair. And in my opinion, I think was the better choice, because they're listening to us as the community, which I think is very important. So they've definitely adapted priorities like they said here, and I'm very exciting. Custom AI rules, so things like targeting the boss on the boss stage or on the third stage, is something that was brought up multiple times in the question section. And it is something that they do want to discuss. And it's not something that's on the table now, but if we get enough feedback about it, definitely is possible. And I can tell you right now that one of my best features from Summoner's War was the ability to target the boss. This allowed you to run faster comps because you didn't necessarily need to worry about the attack buff from giants, because you just, killed it so fast. And so there was no need to target the right tower or the left tower. So being able to focus on the boss, I think, is definitely something I would like to see added to the game. We had some just random questions. Do you plan to rotate creatures in the shop? They do plan to rework the entire feature of the shop, but it looks like it's fine for now, but they do plan on changing things. Can we have more on heroic evolution and how many copies needed and what changes will be there? So this one was kind of like something that they've teased a while ago, but as it says here, fully aware we teased this feature long ago. It is currently on hold as we had, thanks to all of us, different priorities. It is coming, but guild's our main focus at the moment. So definitely something that we should see in the future. I personally, like I said, I've just started playing the game, so I didn't know this was even a feature. I'm kind of interested in seeing what it is about, so I may end up doing some research and finding out what heroic evolutions are. But I assume it's another form of awakening involving duplicates, maybe similar to Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle's potential system, where you require dupes to give additional stats. But we'll have to see. Maybe we can do some research, and I'll make a video on that if I find it important enough. They talked about detailed balance patch notes. I think they're pretty detailed. They would agree. But let's see here. Double XP. Okay, so this was another big one. A lot of people complaining it takes forever to level a character. And so we had some very interesting stuff. Double XP next month. There's the first thing. We're getting a double XP event. It will be next month. We don't know, again, of course, the date, but that is the answer. And we are also considering having XP boosters. So that's really, really important. I'm hoping that these XP boosters are going to be rewards from events and not something that are purchasable. I think if we are able to purchase XP boosters, we are going to run into an issue of free-to-play falling behind due to the requirement of seals or crystals even to purchase these boosters. But I am excited to see that they are coming, as it will definitely increase the speed of farming, which I think is very important, especially in this early game. Do you guys plan on doing anything with how much battery the game consumes? Now, I haven't had this issue because I barely play on my phone. I only play basically for about 30 minutes at my lunchtime at work because there's no need for me to play longer than that. I just use all my energy, turn it off, and then I come home and I play on my computer. But they are planning on working on performance boosts on every release. But there is one thing they cannot deny, that the game is heavy on graphics and therefore has a big impact on the battery. But they are in better shape than they were 6 months ago. So give them time. I think that eventually, once they start cleaning stuff up, it'll end up being a lot better. So someone asked, can we get a wiki with all the skills of each mod to ease your theory craft? And they said, this is something I expect from the community. I agree. This is definitely something that should be supplied by the community. However, something else important about this question is that they've shared and will keep sharing useful info and are happy to share everything related to creatures. So just ask. So I think this is really important, that if you have something that you want to make, or you know someone who's trying to make something and they need that last piece of info, ask an Ubisoft dev. They're in Discord. Personal message them. Hey, I'm trying to make this guide. I'm trying to make this piece of paper that does something, but I need this last piece of information. Can you share that information with me? Boom. More likely than not, they'll give you that answer. Definitely important. Plans on adding new achievements. The idea on now is to add achievements every time the new feature. So basically, once we get Guild Wars, they're going to add some Guild War achievements. Once we get Guild Raids, Guild Raid achievements. Once we get PvP, maybe more PvP achievements. Definitely possible. Do you mind sharing the monster skill damage multipliers like in Summoners War? They don't mind being transparent, but they do love seeing us theorycraft about it. So ultimately, keep theorycrafting about it. If it comes to the point where we can't figure it out, they'll eventually give us the information. So someone asked if they're planning on doing this once a month, and I personally would love this, especially in some form of stream or YouTube video that's released, or even in this Discord fashion, because personally this Discord fashion was really good. I have personally been trying to do get YouTubers and streamers together, including maybe a member of the dev team, to create sort of a once a month state of the game YouTube video or live stream, and this is definitely something that I really would like to do, and the fact that they're talking about doing a live stream for AMAs is definitely something that I'm excited to see, because they're willing to be on camera a little more than just one YDCB video. So I'm excited to hopefully get them involved in this idea that I had, as well as see more of them with the live stream in the future for these types of events. Timers for runs. Now, this is one of my questions. Obviously, multiple people asked it, but I had asked it 2 or 3 times throughout the event. And they do plan on adding timers. They also had plans for including leaderboards, like I guess in Mario Kart. But they definitely are planning on adding timers soon. as well as an in-game clock, either sync with our devices or UTC to coordinate with guildmates. Now, personally, I don't find this to be an issue. My guild uses Discord to communicate when new events are up, etc. Now, once we have guild wars, this may be a little bit more important, but definitely something that they are trying to add, and they are going to pass that info on. So definitely excited to see that. Well, we do know Ubisoft Barcelona is the one developing the game. I didn't know that. I'm sure some of you did, but, you know, there you go. We did have a couple different, like, backwards things saying, like, do you think the game is too easy, farm for hours without being out of energy? And then we had someone later on ask for something like, you know, do you have any problems to fix the energy refills? And this, we didn't really get a great answer, but we did get one thing here, which was they're trying to do the best for everyone, and they will keep events for energy boosting. So definitely look forward to some more events granting energy, which I think is definitely important. Implementing statistic tabs. So this is for like how many times you've cleared a dungeon, similar to the new profile feature on Summoner's War, and I believe that is something they are planning on doing with some cool stuff in the backlog, is what they've said here. We've talked about timers before, and this is something we want to do stats as well, so definitely look forward to that. They are planning on having higher floors of glyph dungeons. As you can see here, it is planned. And they are planning on sharing awesome news about glyphs in the next month or two. So definitely excited to see that. Will you introduce arena defense replays? It would be nice seeing on what's going on when I am attacked. So here's something I'm a little kind of worried about, is that technical challenge. I mean, multiple games have this, you know, in effect already. So I'm kind of surprised that we don't already have the ability to make this feature, seeing as how it's a feature that already exists. However, I do understand that it exists from another, you know, team of developers making a different game, but it seems weird that it wouldn't be possible to make relatively quickly. But they are planning on trying to see what they can do with it, but there are other priorities at the moment, which I am okay with that answer, because I don't think that arena defense replays are that important, seeing as how we can already test our team, which I think is mainly the reason why arena defenses replays are so important, because we want to see how our team is doing. You know, obviously we're not going to be able to see how our team is doing versus the other people's teams, but we can kind of see what our team does, which I think is the most important thing. Is the position of our monsters important? They're not important. So some people think like, oh, well, if they're on the left, do they get additional stats or something? Because in some games, you know, there's a front line and a middle line and a back line or whatever, and you get bonuses for that. This game, not the case, other than, of course, visual. So any plans for leader skills? They do have several designs in mind, but guilds are the priority now, so look forward to leader skills in the future. I'm excited about that, being able to have certain monsters that provide different buffs, debuffs, buffs to your team or debuffs to the enemy team as a leader would be really cool. Let's see here. Any plan on opening some kind of API? The way the community created database statistics, rune optimizer. Guys, this is awesome. So here it is. We are transparent and all, really, guys, but we want to offer everything we can because we love you. But you are our support. We cannot do this without you. But there's some stuff we cannot really do, or we might get fired. But just ask us. Most of the stuff you could need, we can probably provide. So here's the thing, guys. We're not going to get an API from what this states. It's something that they're just not able to do at the moment. But they are willing to provide us with as much information verbally or through typing that that they can. So if you have any questions, just ask them, and that's pretty much the most important thing. It looks like that's all that we have, though, guys. I really appreciate it. My alarm is going off again. Super professional YouTuber, guys. My bad. Like I said, it's real early for me. I have to go to work in about 30 minutes, but I wanted to get this video made and published before I headed out. We're going on a 25-minute video. I'm really sorry, but I hope that this video was informative to you, and I hope that we were able to get as many answers as possible. I know personally I didn't get an answer for one of my most important questions, was are we going to get access to like a beta account or a test account for YouTubers and streamers to be able to provide early early access basically into new events that are coming up or new monsters that are being released, so that we can provide content to you guys prior to the game going live. I didn't get an answer to that question. I'm hoping I can reach out to different Ubisoft devs to get that answer for us as the YouTube slash Twitch community. But other than that, I think we got a lot of very important information, and I think it's very helpful, and I'm very happy that they, allowed for an event like this, and I'm looking forward to more events that do like this in the future. But anyways, guys, I gotta get ready for work. I'm sure you guys gotta do the same. But that's gonna be it for me, guys. See you later, Guardians.